Hey guys, Gathering Magic back again, and this is my land worker layout video for 1.5. So I've gone through all 8 of my plots. I've got all the workers on each one, so I've got the layout for all that done. Waiting for my DEC to go through on Hive Engine. They're having some issues with some of the swaps there. But once that goes through, I should have all the DEC I needed. So I just wanted to give you guys the breakdown of what I'm going to do on all 8 of my plots, what workers I'm going to put in there, and surprisingly, how much DEC I'm actually going to need for 8 plots. So sit back, relax, get a drink, and enjoy. So here we go. So the first thing after I got done going through 8 plots is I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I still have to clear the land. So the 8 plots that I have, 3 of them are rare, so those are going to take 1.65 million production points to clear. I've got 2 common magical plots. Now magical plots take 3 times the amount of production to clear from just a common plot. So those are going to take me 4.5 million production points each. And then I have the 3 common plots that are just, nothing special, that are 1.5 million each. So if you add all of that together, comes out to 18,450,000 production to clear all those plots and start being able to produce, grain and magical resources and all that. So I'm going to need 1,845 time crystals, and I only have 750. So if I want to go ahead and clear everything right away with time crystals, I'm going to need almost another 1,100, and that's 110,000 DEC. So I really don't want to spend another $100 just to clear all my land. So I have to decide how I'm going to best use these time crystals. Probably what I'm going to end up doing is clearing my rare plots first, because those are going to give me an extra 10% bonus for grain, so I can start getting my grain going right away. So I'll probably clear these 3 right away, probably 2 of my common plots fairly quickly, and the common magical, since all I'm going to be getting is research. If I'm a few days behind, that's really not that bad. So that's kind of the plot right now, or the plan, just trying to figure out how best to use my time crystals. I kind of want to save some of them too, just for future use. So once, land 1.6 and 2.0 come out, especially when we can build the 30 different building types, I'd really like to be able to build those right away. These I'm not really as concerned about. I might actually just not use any of the time crystals. I might just, take the time and just, spend a few days and just clear them out, and then just save the time crystals for land 2.0 and beyond, when I can build some buildings that I'm going to have long term. Because remember guys, all of these buildings that you can build in 1.5, more than likely these aren't going to be your permanent buildings that you're going to have on your plots. This is just basically something to give us something to do and to tide us over until the next stages of land. Okay, so let's get going. So of my 8 plots, plot number 1 I have in Gankland, region 23, track 7, number 31. It's a rare swamp. I'm getting a 10% bonus if I use water and death creatures, and on this plot I'm going to produce grain. So the 5 workers that I have for this is, I went for a lot of gold foil epics. So I have 3 gold foil revealers, just 1 BCX of each. I'm going to get 600 points for each one. I'm going to get an extra 60 points because it is a rare, so that gives me a 10% bonus, and then I'm going to get another 60 points or 10% because I'm using the correct splinter. So those 3 are actually going to give me 720 points apiece, and they're only going to cost me 1,000 DEC. Now the grain cost for your workers is based on a formula. It's like 0.01 of their production, their base production per hour. So if you have 600 production points for your base, it's going to come out to about 6 grain an hour. So that's what the column here is at the end. I also have a Magi Necrosi Death Epic Gold Foil. He's going to give me the same amount of points, 600. And one of the very few max level cards I'm going to put on land is, I have a Gold Foil Pellicor Bandit. This was the only plot I could put it on because it's the only plot that allows me to play the water splinter. So I'm like, you know what, might as well go ahead and put him on a rare plot, because not only am I going to get the 2,000 points for him being a max level common, I'm going to get the extra 10% for rare and the extra 10% for being water. So yep, it's costing me 10,000 DEC, but you know, I'm going to get 2,400 points. So for this first plot, I'm going to end up getting 6,000 production for this plot in Gankland. It's going to cost me a total of 14,000 DEC, and I am going to be consuming 44 grain every hour. Now, I'm going to be producing, your production is 0.02 times however much production if you're doing grain. So this should come out to about 120 grain an hour. Now they are subject everyone to a 10% tax. So anytime you produce anything and you do a harvest, you have to pay the 10% tax. So that's going to take me down to 108 grain per hour after taxes. So I'm producing 108, I'm consuming 44. I'm going to end up gaining 64 grain every hour on this plot. So very happy with this. You know, 6,000 production I think is a decent amount of production, and I'm only spending 14,000 DEC, not 50,000. My cost, how much production I'm getting per DEC, is 0.42. Just to put that in perspective, if you had a max level common and you were getting 1,000 points and you were even getting the 10% bonus, but you were spending 10,000 DEC, your production points for every DEC would be 0.11. So I'm very happy with this to be able to get almost half a production point for every DEC I'm spending. So that's region 1. Okay, so now on to region 2. Region 2, I have 3 plots in region 43. The reason I chose 43 is my wife and I actually live on a street that's M43. So we're like, yeah, let's just go for region 43. So I have 3 plots there. My first one that I'm going to go through is a rare mountain. This one gives me a 10% bonus for death and fire cards. This is another one where I will also be producing grain. So my workers for this, very easy. I'm going to have 5 single BCX gold foil Gin Infernis. So I'm going to get 600 points for the base, another 60 points because it's a rare, another 60 points because I'm using the correct splinter. Each one is only going to cost me 1,000 DEC. So I'm going to end up getting 3,600 production points and spending 5,000 total DEC for this plot. And I'm going to be consuming 30 grain an hour. Go through the numbers. I'm going to be producing 72 grain. After fees, 64.8 minus what I eat. So I'm going to be making just under 35 grain per hour on this plot. And I am getting 0.72 production for every DEC I'm spending. So to get 1 production per DEC is incredibly hard. I think the way I looked at it, really the only way you can do that is if you have gold foil legendaries, or if you have a lot of alpha and beta cards and you're getting those 5 and 10 multipliers. So if you're just using standard cards and newer cards, if you can get anywhere above about 0.4 and higher, that's very, very good. So very happy again with how much production I'm getting per DEC. I think 3,600 is decent, so not too bad. And the nice thing about this too, when I want to upgrade this plot, I can just combine 2 of these. I'll have the same production, and that leaves me an empty slot where I can slide in another creature. Then I can combine another one of these to get these to a 3 BCX, slide in another creature so I can slowly build this up. Yep, gold foil epics are a little bit pricey, but the nice thing is this is not something that you need to do right away. Don't worry about getting things maxed out right away. If I can eventually get it to where all these are maxed, I'm going to end up with 36,000 production points on this. So happy to, just start small, just do what you can and go from there. So very happy with that. So now region 3, or I should say plot number 3 is another one in region 43. This one is just a common hills. So this one I'm going to produce grain as well. The 10% bonus is for life and dragon. So I went for 5 life gold foil epics for this. Once again, I will be getting, I'm only spending 5,000 DEC. I'll be getting 3,300 production. I'm going to be producing after taxes 60 grain. I'm eating half of it, so I'm going to end up netting 30. And I am getting 0.66 production per DEC, so decent amount of production for the cost. Region 4 is my final plot in Region 43. This one is another common hills. Once again, going to produce grain, almost exactly the same as the previous one, just the monsters are a little different. So I'm going to use 3 prismologists, 2 gin chihuahuas, exact same production. So I will be gaining 30 grain per hour and 0.66 production per DEC. Okay, so now we get into some of the magical plots. So my first magical plot is in Region 46. Unfortunately, I was unable to find, I wanted to get another plot in that region to produce grain, but I just could not find one. No one's willing to sell one at a good price. So this one is a common desert. It does death magic. I'm going to be doing magical research on this one, of course, because I'll be getting the 100% bonus. Cards I need to put on here are Fire and Dragon. So the cards that I'm putting on here is the only gold foil legendary I have is a 1BCX gold foil Grum. He's going to give me 2,500 points. I'll be getting a 250 bonus because he is a fire card. Since he is 1/4 max, he only costs me 1/4 of the max DEC. So I only have to spend 2,500 DEC for him. And you can see the production. He's going to cost me 25 grain per hour. He is a hungry boy. One of the other actually I think this is the only worker that I use that is not giving me a bonus because he is not of the correct splinter, but he doesn't have a penalty. I have a gold foil vampire bat. So he's going to give me 2,000 points. He's going to cost me 10,000 DEC though, and he's going to cost me 20 grain per hour. The other 3 spots are for Dragon, single gold foil epics, Jin Chihuahua. You can see the numbers here. So all told on this plot, I'm going to get 6,730 PP plus some other bonuses. I'm spending 15,500 DEC for the plot, and I will be consuming 63 grain per hour. Now, I have 2 common totems. So one of the common totems I'm going to put on this plot. Now the way I think it goes for production, since this is giving you a 10% bonus, is I think it's giving you the 10% bonus based on your base production. So I added all these up and it comes out to be 6,300 production points. So I think I'm going to get an extra 630. And then for my 100% bonus, because I'm doing magical research on this plot, it basically doubles, and I think it doubles your base. I don't think it doubles it after bonuses and everything else. So since my base production is 6,300, I'm getting the 6,300, the 630 from the totem, the 6,300 for it being 100% bonus, and then I was getting like another 430 for the 10% bonuses for correct splinter. So I believe I calculated all this correctly, and it ends up I'm going to have 13,660 production on this plot. So doing magical research, on this magical plot is really going to be key. So this is the amount of production I'm going to have, but once again, you have to pay like a 10% tax. So I think that will knock me down to 12,294 production every hour. And I think they said that for every 10,000 points you earn 1 research token. So if you divide that by 10,000, I'll be getting about 1.2 research tokens every hour. So, a little over 1 token per hour. So I'm happy with that. We'll see how it goes. Now, I'm probably not going to be able to do this right away because I think this might be one of the plots where I'm going to have to clear it the slow way first, and then I'll start accumulating those tokens. And like I said earlier, this will cost me 63 grain per hour. Okay, so on to Region 48, which is my 6th plot. This one is a rare mountain. I will be producing grain. Actually, I think 3 of the plots I have were mountains. So 2 rare mountains and I think 1 common. So on this one, I am doing a gold foil Jin Inferni for fire, gold foil Magi Necrosi for death. One of the other few max cards I have, a max gold foil Venari Heatsmith, He's given me 2,000 points, but then again, he's going to cost me 10,000 DEC, 1 BCX Epic Lava Launcher Gold Foil, and a Forgotten One Gold Foil. So all told, I'm spending 14,000 DEC for this plot. I'm getting almost 5,300 production points, and they're costing me 44 grain per hour. So as you can see how much I'm going to have after taxes, I'll be making 95 grain per hour. I'm eating 44, so I'm gaining 51 grain. And on this plot, I am getting about 0.37 production per DEC. Okay, so plot number 7. This is the second of my magical plots. This one is also a common plains, and it's doing life magic. So of course I'll be doing magical research on this as well. This one I actually had a 4 BCX Jin Renova. So she's going to give me 2,400 points plus the 240 bonus. She's costing me 4,000 DEC. All the other 4 workers are level 1 or 1 BCX Gold Foil Epics. You can see the totals here, so I'm going to get 5,280 production for 8,000 DEC, costing me 48 grain every hour. I'm going to put my second common totem on this plot as well, so that will give me another 4,800 production, plus I'm going to be getting the 100% bonus for magical research. So all told, I'll be getting 10,560 production. Minus taxes, that knocks me down to 9504. So I'm getting just under 1 token per hour. And like I said, it's costing me 48 grain every hour. So between my 2 magical plots, I should be getting basically 2 tokens every hour. Okay, so now for my final plot, plot number 8, which is in region 133. It is a common mountain. I will be producing grain. And as of now, I only have 3 workers I'm going to put on this plot. Since this region, it's in a region all by itself. I had an extra gold foil Forgotten One for fire, so I put him here. I had just a partially leveled gold foil common Pellicore Deceiver. So you can see the production here. And then I had a 4 BCX gold foil Dampier Stalker. He is a rare. So I have kind of weird numbers for this one. So I'm spending just under 6,000 DEC, only getting 2,100 production, but I do have 2 empty slots. So if I can pick up a couple more gold foil epics, I'm going to make sure they're either death or fire, and I'll slap them on this plot as well. But for right now, it's producing 38.7 grain. After what I'm consuming, I'm making 19.1. So all told, my overall stats for my 8 plots, I'm going to end up producing an extra almost 118 grain per hour. So once I get all my plots cleared and start cranking out the grain, an extra 118 grain should be building up in my account every hour. Now the problem is going to be if I have to take that grain and ship it to a different region, of course I'm going to be subject to fees. But I think for 1.5, all of your grain is put into like an overall account pool. So it's not tied to a specific region. So I'm hoping I can draw from that to feed my workers and not have to pay the penalty by shipping the grain I'm currently producing over. So we'll see how that goes when 1.5 goes live. And like I said just a minute ago, I'll be producing a little over 2 tokens per hour for my 2 magical plots, so not too bad. So for my 8 plots, I'm only spending 72,476 DEC, or just over 9,000 DEC a plot. So like I've mentioned in previous videos, don't worry about spending 50,000 DEC per plot if that is just way too expensive. You can go with lower level monsters, get a decent amount of production, and do pretty well. So just so you know, the total production on my 8 plots is 47,854 production. So if you divide that by 8, I'm getting almost 6,000 production per plot. And I'm pretty happy for that. I mean, if people were just going to put max level commons, even if they're the correct splinter, you'd only be getting 5,500. And you would be spending 50,000 DEC. So I'm getting slightly more production than that for basically less than 1/5 of the cost in DEC. So overall, I'm getting 0.66 production for every DEC I'm spending. So I think that's pretty efficient. So there you have it, guys. So that's my layout for land when it goes live on Tuesday. Unfortunately, I have to work that day, of course. And usually, I think when the patch and when the update is finished, I'm already gone to work. So I won't be able to get my plots fired up and going until I get home late Tuesday night. But this will give you just kind of an overview of what you guys will see if you are able to check out my plot. So we'll do a video after this goes live. So I will show you me, going through and putting all my monsters on my land. And then of course, like everyone else, I'll probably be doing videos showing you production and all that cool stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, stay the course, keep on forging. And guess what? Land ho, here we go. Take care.